Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of No Lights Paranormal, where this time two nerdy paranormal investigators sit down to discuss spooky stories from around the web. I just realized my intro doesn't really go with being the intro guy.
I mean, that's okay. I guess we'll go with this then. My name is Teresa, and I am your researcher.
And my name is Alex, your Baba Yaga enthusiast and equipment setter upper.
And I'm sure you've all noticed that we're missing Joe. So, yep, well wishes. We love you, Joe. Anyway, so I don't have that deep baritone voice to say, and now for spooky news. So, if I could get your bass to do that.
And now for spooky news.
Yeah, bitches! All right, so first and foremost, I have gone a little off the rails with spooky news this week. You know, on a crazy train. We love Ozzy. Ghost Walking Haunted History Tour. There are multiple dates for this one, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening all the month of August, every single weekend, Friday and Saturday, at the Landall's Mohican Castle at 561 Township Road 3352 in Loudonville, Ohio. Step into the past this spring and summer with our one-of-a-kind haunted history tour of Hyde Cemetery and the replica of Hyde's original log cabin. Join us for a 1-hour plus journey back to the 1830s where you'll explore the tales of the early pioneers and Native Americans who once inhabited the castle property. Oh, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And then multiple dates for this one as well. This one is from Scott Silverson, Shamanic Spirit Medicine. This gentleman has a spirit healing for Mother Earth event going on. The Web of Life Shamanic Journey Circle is open to new membership. No cost to participate. We meet monthly on Zoom at noon, Hawaii time, and the first Wednesday of each month. Requirements for live meeting participants: you are committed to working in the right alignment with life-affirming spirits only. Your intention for participating in the group is to help repair the fabric of the web of life. It continues to talk about people's shamanic journeys and has tutorials and things of that nature. There are dates coming up Wednesday, August the 6th, and then of course Wednesday, August the 3rd, which would be the following first Wednesday. This looks kind of fun, especially if you are into shamanic rituals. You can look this one up. Let's see here. You know what? I don't see a place you can look it up, so I'm just going to go ahead and post it on the site for you. All right. Saturday, July 19th, a paranormal sleepover at Bill Manor. Experience a night you won't forget. Bill Manor, an intimate 10-guest-only paranormal sleepover in one of Ohio's most haunted homes. Tickets are $175 a piece. Seems a little pricey. Check in at 8 and check in at 8 p.m. and then 10 a.m. the next day. This starts on Saturday, July the 19th at the Bill Manor at 1213 Buckland Avenue in Fremont, Ohio. And then we have the Green Dragon Inn and Rubber City Cosplay presents the Fae Masquerade. Step into the Fae Masquerade, an enchanted night of mystery, art, dancing, puzzles, and immersive storytelling beyond the veil. At the Green Dragon Inn on Saturday, July the 19th, doors open at 4, event starts at 5. That is at the Green Dragon Inn, East Market Street, Akron, Ohio. That is 115 East Market Street in Akron, Ohio. Then we move right along to Saturday, also August 2nd, Fairfield County Infirmary Psychic Hunts. Christopher Lee Jansen has been connecting to spirit most of his life. Christopher has devoted years of helping others by offering psychic readings, energy work, and hypnosis, as well as helping others along their spiritual journey in countless other ways. He also is an investigator and paranormal writer. You can see him and join this at the Fairfield County Infirmary at 1587 Granville Pike in Lancaster, Ohio on August the 2nd, 6:30 p.m. until 3:30 a.m. Then we have the Post-Town Paracon. So this one steps above and beyond just the standard Post-Town Elementary School investigation and goes into an actual Paracon. $25 covers you for both Friday and Saturday night. This is actually camping. You are camping on the grounds of the elementary school. They have a flashlight tour. You can get in on 4-hour or 8-hour investigations, all included bonfire access, and you must leave the building when your time ends. Saturday is the convention day with free entry for the con. Donations are very, very welcome. Outdoor and cafeteria for indoor vendors. Tours through the school, $10 a person. And then, of course, there's going to be the VIP investigation times on Saturday night. 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. That is $100 per person, which includes food and your investigation. There are only 20 VIP spots available, so get your tickets quick. All proceeds go to help fund the beautiful Post-Town Elementary. This one, vendors, food, raffles, bonfire, foam party. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds fun. At the Post-Town Elementary School, 6600 Franklin Road in Middletown, Ohio. That one actually looks really cool. And it looks like they have multiple dates for this one, too. The first one is August the 2nd. Starts at 10 a.m. That's a Saturday. Goes into Sunday as well. Dude, that's going to be fun. Thursday, August 7th, Sip and Sound bath at the winery at Wolf Creek. Come chill and vibe at the Sip and sound bath. Unwind, rest your mind and body, and enjoy a complimentary glass of wine. It says here it's a unique experience that blends the calming vibrations of a guided sound bath with the enjoyment of a refreshing beverage in a peaceful vineyard. This might be nice. You are to bring a yoga mat, blanket, and anything else that might help you relax comfortably, and of course, a water bottle to stay hydrated. This takes place Thursday, August the 7th from 7 to 8 p.m. at the winery at Wolf Creek at 2637 South Cleveland Massillon Road in Barberton, Ohio. Just a few more to get through here. We have the Hippie Fest in Hocking Hills.
Okay.
That just sounds fun.
You are going off the rails.
Saturday, August 9th. Let's see. Oh my gosh, there's like a hippie van all painted up and a peace sign of flowers in the lawn. This is the cutest. Hippie Fest is a family-friendly art festival featuring vibrant entertainment for all ages. Everyone is invited. Come to Hocking County Fairgrounds in Logan, Ohio, August 9th and 10th, featuring live music, hundreds of bohemian vendor booths, vintage hippie car show, DIY tie-dye, giant bubble garden, slideshow performers, kids' activities, delicious food, and more. All ages welcome. It's groovy, baby. Starts at $27 per person at the Hocking Hills Fairground, 100 North Homer Avenue in Logan, Ohio. Bards and Boudoir. Presented by the Fandom Fantasies, where Ren Fair meets burlesque. August the 16th at 8 p.m. at the Green Dragon Inn, located at 115 East Market Street in Akron, Ohio. Welcome to Bards and Boudoir. Join us at the Green Dragon Inn for a night of live burlesque, drag, and merriment inspired by the Renaissance Fair, from hobbits to wenches to pickles and more. The Fandom Fantasy are excited to bring you an evening full of Renaissance nerdity. Come in with your finest fairy garb and join us for a variety show you won't forget. This whimsical Renaissance revelry shall surely make you cry. Hip hip huzzah. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's what it says. This one I liked a lot, actually, because this goes right along with a lot of our friends dig into alternative religions.
Okay.
So this one is at the Ledges Trailhead in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park on Tuesday, August the 19th, between 6 and 7:30 p.m. at 405 Truxell Road in Peninsula, Ohio. In the time of disconnection and uncertainty, it is crucial to learn ways to care for yourself and community. Grounding 101 will set participants up with the skills they can take into their everyday life to aid in regulating mindfulness and reciprocity. Participants will be given an educational overview on what grounding is, the benefits of it, and have clear expectations set for this program. Mindful movement, breathing techniques, and a gentle walk will be offered throughout this program. During the time, instructor Sarah from U Bloom LLC will offer questions and instruction to engage all of your senses for a truly unique and immersive experience in nature. That looks kind of cool. And it is a free event.
Okay.
Last but certainly not least, we have the Starborn Soiree at Greystone Hall in Akron, Ohio. Step into the realm of books and fantasy at the Enchanted Realm Starborn Soiree 2025, where fantasy comes to life. Located at the Greystone at 103 South High Street in Akron, Ohio. Welcome to the Starborn Soiree 2025. Get ready for a magical night filled with books, music, and dancing. Join us in person for an evening of literary wonder and enchantment. Dress up as your favorite book character or in your fanciest attire. The choice is yours. Immerse yourself in the world of fantasy and fiction as we celebrate the love of reading. Tickets include cocktail reception, past hors d'oeuvres, a buffet-style dinner with upscale catering, open bar for 5 hours, dancing with a professional DJ, a photo booth, several photo op stations, multiple indie author signing tables, a best dressed contest, raffles, and more. A portion of your ticket price will go towards the Cleveland Animal Protective League. Yay! All right, rock on. That's all. That's my spooky news.
Really? So, newsflash, I have 3 things this week.
Look at you go! I figured I covered enough.
I mean, you really did, but since we have a couple extra minutes without a third story, I figured I'd go ahead and indulge. I found a couple of things that I like, and I will share up the website at the end of it, because there's one website that I feel like has a lot of stuff you can do, really.
Dang it.
So the first thing that I found was, again, to stay off your beaten trail, it is called the Cuyahoga Valley Mystery Picnic. It's a self-guided foodie adventure.
Ooh, I am a foodie. Let's do this.
Let's see here. So, ticket is an all-inclusive mystery picnic for 2. It includes a picnic spread from local artisan producers, including cheese, meat, fruits, crackers, etc. It's interactive clues and riddles on your smartphone that'll take you on a journey to collect your special gourmet picnic food. They've got games and conversation starters and additional activity and points of interest recommendations. Let's see here. Description is mountains, meadows, waterfalls, forests, flowers, oh my. Cuyahoga Valley is a spectacular destination to enjoy the outdoors and a charming picnic. Come along on this beautiful mystery picnic adventure to explore this area's history, nature, and tastes. Start by solving personally curated clues and riddles that'll take you on a journey to collect your special gourmet picnic food bit by bit. Each clue you solve will lead you closer to your next picnic food pickup and even closer to your final stunning picnic location. Let's see here. It does say the picnic experience usually lasts about 3 hours depending on your pace. Your picnic start time can be anywhere between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. There is no age requirement, however, 21 plus to consume alcohol. And it's a driving distance of approximately 21.5 miles. So like a car is kind of required here. But apparently it takes you like from one segment of a park to the next segment of a park, and over time you collect different picnic pieces from like their vendors that they have.
That's kind of awesome.
It does say to bring your own basket or cooler bag, whatever. Plates, cups, and a sharp knife to be used for the bread and cheese. They do say that they do request their partners offer disposable equipment should they have it, but listen, they're bringing the food. You bring the stuff for a picnic.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Seems super cool to me, but it does appear that these are open almost every weekend from 11 to 1 from now until the end of the autumn season.
I love it.
The ticket for the mystery picnic for 2 is $130. Again, that covers 2 people, though. And bring more than 2 people, because it's fun.
Heck yeah, just go have fun, dude.
It seems like this is a real, like, self-guided thing. So,
I dig it.
Let's see here. Another one that I found it will be October 30th. It is called Candlelight, a haunted evening of Halloween classics. This will be at the Lincoln Theater in Canton. So what it basically is it's performers called the Listetto String Quartet.
Cool.
And they are doing just like a tentative program of like Halloween themed music. You've got your classics like Thriller from Michael Jackson. You've got Tubular Bells from Mike Oldfield, which is the theme from The Exorcist. Stranger Things theme, Survive. The Halloween theme, Ghostbusters. They do it all. And they're a string quartet. So I thought that was kind of cool. Tickets for that are literally only like $11.50. So
that's very cool.
So go listen to some classic music, have a good time. And all that was the prelude after I found, again, the information for the Edgar Allan Poe Speakeasy. Ooh. And this is indeed chapter 2 in Medina.
Nice.
So after looking further at it, it says, after the mesmerizing success of Edgar Allan Poe Speakeasy, the doors have opened once more, inviting you to step deeper into the shadow of Poe's most harrowing tales. Step into a night of literary horror as you explore the dark worlds of Edgar Allan Poe once more. Prepare for an immersive experience that will transport you into the chilling tales of A Cask of Amontillado, Annabelle Lee, The Pit and the Pendulum, and The Fall of House of Usher.
We're going.
4 new stories, 4 new drinks to go with those stories.
I don't care about the drinks. I'm not, whatever. But yeah.
Tickets are, again, $55 a person. Thursday, July 31st, and Friday, August 1st. It looks like each date has 3 times, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. And the duration of the event is 1 hour and 30 minutes. This will be at Vels Event Center. And for those of you that don't drink, just to let you know, as the last time, they do mocktails as well.
They do.
So it's just the non-alcoholic version. So
I was kind of paying attention as well, and the people who asked for mocktails actually really enjoyed them. So I imagine they are put every bit as much effort into the mocktails as they do the cocktails.
Guys, we went to chapter 1, and it was amazing.
It was great
time. Could not even tell you how good it was.
I mean, I love Poe anyway, so yeah, it was good.
That said, all of these events are on a website called Fever. It's Fever Up, okay? And I didn't even know what this website was until the first time I got our Poe tickets for chapter 1. But it almost seems like a smaller, lesser-known version of like Groupon or something like that. Because Groupon, they give you like group rates for discounted like things that are going on in town. But most of them are just cool. You can get like a group rate at Topgolf or a group rate at bowling or this or that. And these are actually like events. So I will, on our website or on our Facebook, I will share with you the website for that so that you guys can look it up, see what events they've got going on that you might be interested in, and get your tickets.
Very awesome. I love it.
And that's my spooky events.
I absolutely love it. I'm excited. Excitable.
So, spooky events down. On to the stories.
Yes, indeed. Do you want to go first since I just talked a whole lot with spooky news, or do you want me to go?
I think you go ahead. That's fine.
Okay. I got this. So, I actually stayed very close to home this
You've been
time.
making a habit of that lately.
I have, but you know what? I guess I just kind of like have it in my head that there is so much in so many places, and why not cover our own backyard until we've exhausted the option?
I mean, that's fair, especially considering it seems like I've been doing anything but, so.
True. And Joe, too. Joe's haven't been in our backyard either. You guys have been, like, across the pond and stuff, so, yeah, we got this.
Listen, you get to cater to the home crowd, and I am trying my best to keep up with all these new foreign friends that we're gaining,
so. And I love all of you, so don't think that I'm covering Ohio because, like, I don't, because that would be stupid. I love you guys, all of you. So, here's my story. The Haunting of Gray's Armory.
You've caught my attention.
A comprehensive history paranormal profile investigation guide. Gray's Armory, located at 1234 Bolivar Road in downtown Cleveland, Ohio.
I know exactly where that's at.
Was constructed in 1893 for the Cleveland Greys, a private volunteer militia founded on August 28th of 1837. The Greys were established amid fears that the Canadian rebellions of 1837 and 1838, which sought to overthrow British colonial rule, might spill across Lake Erie, potentially igniting a third war with Britain. Originally called the Cleveland City Guards, the group adopted the name Greys in 1839, inspired by their distinct gray uniforms and tall black bearskin caps, weird, and embracing the motto Semper Paratus, meaning always prepared. The armory was built after a fire, December 8, 1892, destroying their previous quarters in the city armory on Long Street, which housed muskets, equipment, and a cannon. The new armory replaced a temporary fire station on Frankfurt Street, was designed as a secure facility for storing weapons, conducting military drills, and serving as a headquarters. Beyond its military role, it became a civic hub, hosting social events, performances, and community gatherings, reflecting the Greys' dual mission of defense and civic engagement. Early duties included supporting local law enforcement, such as quelling a riot at Cleveland's Medical College in 1852, and participating in ceremonial events like monument dedications and parades. Before the armory's construction, the land at Bolivar Road and Prospect Avenue was part of a residential neighborhood in Cleveland's developing downtown during the mid-19th century. The area featured modest homes, small businesses, and open lots, typical to a frontier city transitioning into an industrial hub. Two documented tragedies on this plot predate the armory and contribute to its haunted reputation. In 1869, there was an ammonia poisoning. A young girl, she was about 12 years old, died after mistakenly drinking ammonia, believing it to be medicine, in a residence on that exact site. Ammonia was commonly stored in households or small apothecaries for cleaning or medicinal purposes, and the lack of safety regulations made such accidents frequently typical, unfortunately. Her identity remains unrecorded, reflecting the anonymity of many working-class children of that era. In 1884, there was another ammonia poisoning. An adult woman suffered a similar fate, accidentally consuming ammonia on the exact same plot of land. The recurrence suggested that the site might have housed a pharmacy or a household with stored chemicals, but there is no personal details available, and the incident, of course, reinforces the land's tragic history. The site's proximity to the Erie Street Cemetery, which is Cleveland's oldest surviving burial ground, established in 1826, enhances its paranormal significance. Located directly behind the armory, the cemetery contains graves of Civil War soldiers, early settlers like Lorenzo Carter, which was Cleveland's first permanent settler, and victims of the cholera epidemics that hit the area very, very hard. Paranormal researchers say that the cemetery's restless spirits, combined with the site's pre-armory tragedies, create sort of a spiritual nexus, amplifying spiritual activity at the armory. No records indicate industrial or commercial use of the land before about 1893, but as residential paths and adjacency to a historical cemetery, of course, set a haunting foundation. Designed by Cleveland architect Fenimore C. Bate, known for blending functionality with aesthetic grandeur, Gray's Armory is a striking example of Richardsonian Romanesque revival architecture. Constructed in 1893 on a 3-ton Berea sandstone foundation, the 4-story structure features thick red brick walls, rough-hewn sandstone accents, polished granite columns flanking solid oak doors, and a black iron drop gate, evoking a medieval fortress sort of appearance. A 5-story round tower with a conical cap and progressively smaller windows dominates the northeast corner, earning the Armory the nickname of Cleveland's downtown castle. The defensive design, with iron bars over first floor windows and walls, built to withstand attack, reflects its military purpose, optimized for militia operations and weapons storage. The interior is equally grand, with a bright red carpeted lobby featuring an original wooden ticket booth, a 2-story locker room with historic wood lockers still used by modern grade members, and a cavernous drill hall doubling as a ballroom. 140-foot basement shooting range, rare for urban buildings, was used for firearms training and later by the Cleveland Police Department for qualifications. Secret passages, rumored to connect to hidden rooms, fuel speculation of covert uses, particularly during Prohibition, which was from 1920 to 1933, when the Armory may have hosted clandestine meetings or alcohol storage, though no definitive records confirm this. Paranormal investigators note that such hidden spaces often harbor residual energy from secretive or emotionally charged activities. The Armory's minimal renovations since 1893 have preserved its Victorian splendor, earning it a place in the National Register of Historic Places in 1973. This preservation is believed to enhance paranormal activity and, as unaltered structures, often remain spiritual imprints. Gray's Armory served as both a military stronghold and a cultural epicenter. The Cleveland Grays, initially 78 strong, were active in multiple conflicts and transitioned into a social and educational organization after the Militia Act of 1903 ended private militias, officially military roles. The Armory housed artifacts like the Secesh Cannon, which is a Confederate cannon that was captured at the Battle of Fort Corks Ford in 1861 by Indiana troops and gifted to the Cleveland Light Artillery, which is a Grays-affiliated union, displayed in public square to celebrate Union victories. It now resides in the Armory's museum. The Gray also maintained a library of American military history, established in 1988 and 89, and hosted ceremonial roles in parades. The Armory was a premier venue for Cleveland's elite. In 1861, it hosted a President-elect, Abraham Lincoln, when he visited Cleveland with the Gray as an honor guard. They guarded his funeral train in 1865 as well. William McKinley was there. He was the first president spoke during Cleveland's 1896 centennial and other events. William Howard Taft, who delivered a speech in 1916. John Philip Sousa, who was a band leader who performed showcasing the Armory's acoustics. Emma Calvé, who was an opera star singer in the New York Metropolitan Opera in 1902, and a gentleman by the name of Nikolai Sokolov, who conducted the Cleveland Orchestra's inaugural concert in the Drill Hall in September 11th of 1918. Super cool. Let's see here. The Cleveland Grays, these guys are actually pretty fucking phenomenal, and they did a lot, and I'm not positive that Ohio remembers that we had such heroes who lived and trained and ultimately died here. There was the Battle of Vienna, which was Vienna, Virginia, 15 miles from Alexandria, which is a pretty big town, on June 17th of 1861. The Grays, as Company E, 1st Ohio Volunteer Infantry, or OVI, were part of the Union Renaissance mission that secured Alexandria, the city of London, and Hampshire Railroad, protecting Washington, D.C. after Virginia's secession. Confederates from South Carolina ambushed the train carrying the Grays. The Grays occupied the lead flat car when artillery and musket fire derailed the train. The Union retreated under fire, marking an early Confederate victory and exposing railroad vulnerabilities. 9 Union soldiers were killed from companies G and H, but not any from the Grays. 2 were wounded, so no Grays actually passed in that particular battle. There was the first Battle of Bull Run on July 21st of 1861. This happened in Manassas Junction, Virginia. This was the first major Civil War battle. It was aimed, the idea was to capture Richmond by defeating Confederate forces under General P.G.T. Beauregard and Joseph Johnston. The Greys were part of this. The Greys covered the chaotic Union retreat after Confederate reinforcements turned the tide, revealing the war's complexities. One Grey soldier was killed, with no specific wounded recorded. However, in that battle, roughly 460 Union soldiers and roughly 387 Confederate soldiers were lost. The defense of Washington, D.C., July of 1864, Fort Stevens and surrounding defenses, all protecting Washington, D.C. The Greys' 150th OVI defended the capital against Confederate General Jubal Early's raid. Thankfully, there were no Greys recorded that were casualties of this battle, but they did lose about 373 Union and 400 Confederate soldiers. They also participated in the Spanish-American War, the Mexican Punitive Expedition, which was in Fort Bliss, Texas, the Maussagon Offensive. This one, that was bad. I mean, there were like over 26,000 U.S. soldiers killed and probably 28,000 or so German soldiers were killed in that battle. Just all bad. It was actually one of the largest U.S. offenses in World War I. So, coming back to Grey's itself, the Armory's history includes a couple of those. So, for starters, there was a guy by the name of Patrick. They call him Patrick, but nobody actually knows his name.
Oh.
He is an Irish construction worker. It was 1893. He died during construction of Grey's Armory. He fell from machinery and unfortunately was killed. He was an immigrant worker, which means that pretty much anything about his personal details are scarce. Obviously, there was a lot of hazardous conditions. His spirit is said to be protective and reactive to any type of renovation going on at the Armory. Pretty much, he just doesn't really care for that kind of thing anymore. There was Lou. Lou was dedicated caretaker and he was a veteran. He died of a heart attack while he was working at the Armory. He was well known for smoking cherry vanilla pipe tobacco. And to this day, particularly in the drill hall, you can smell cherry vanilla pipe tobacco. Before the Armory, of course, don't forget that there was that young girl and then another woman who these days they call her the woman in white. She actually has been seen numerous times in all different parts of the Armory building. Nobody really knew where she came from until they started looking at stories from prior to the Armory because there weren't any women in the militia. That just wasn't a thing. Grey's Armory is definitely considered one of Cleveland's most haunted sites with extensive paranormal activity reported by visitors, staff, other investigators. It was on episode 2, season 11 of Ghost Hunters. So the TAPS crew. There's apparitions of men in gray uniforms, which were likely Grey members, patrolling the halls and the drill hall and the basement. There was a female visitor in 2017 who felt overwhelmed by their presence and left the tour early. TAPS captured an EVP of a soldier saying duty in the basement, which of course reflected the Semper Parathis sort of ethos of the whole place. The female spirit, possibly tied to the ammonia death, appeared in the Wurlitzer, near the Wurlitzer organ or the main staircase, she was described as an elegant wear with a top knot. So apparently those were pretty popular back then too. She's been reported since about 1978, and she lingers in that area of the piano, despite wherever they move the piano. She kind of follows it. Doesn't seem to matter where it's at.
That's cool.
She's the woman in white. There's Lou, who was the former caretaker. He manifests mostly in the drill hall and the basement, of course, marked by that cherry vanilla tobacco scent, footsteps and doors closing unassisted. TAPS recorded a EVP in the basement and noted playful interactions, especially after his van was moved from the garage of what they believe was Lou saying hello. During renovations, workers reported paint cans being thrown or moved, attributed to Patrick's disapproval. He was the man who passed away and was the immigrant worker. His presence is strongest in the entryway and near the crown molding. Most people say that he is a gruff but protective entity. General phenomena all over the place is footsteps in empty halls, doors locking and opening, shadow figures, cold spots, especially in the basement shooting range. In 2017, they had a Halloween investigation where they used EMF meters and dowsing rods and detected spikes near the cannon and the locker room. Visitors describe a fog-like energy and a sensation of being watched. Chris Woodyard, I'm not real sure who that is.
I do.
Oh, okay, cool. Reported a young man with a crown imperial goatee in a second-floor room and captured EVPs and photos. Ohio Paranormal in 2016 recorded a soldier saying, "Stand fast," near the drill hall. Visitors reported a spectral band playing salsa-like marches in the drill hall.
You also know Chris Woodyard, by the way. She's the one that wrote Haunted Ohio.
Oh, I like her. I don't know what's wrong with my head. Anyway, currently, Gray's Armory is still actually owned and operated by the Cleveland Grays, which is now a nonprofit organization dedicated to preserving the Armory and advancing Greater Cleveland's military heritage through public awareness and education programs. The Grays, no longer a militia, function as a social and historical society, maintaining the Armory of the museum and the event venue. The organization is supported by its members, which include nowadays both men and women, and does not require military service for membership. The Armory's operations are overseen by a small staff, including an outreach coordinator, and they rely on volunteers and funding from events and grants. Such as in 2017, the state budget was allocated $350,000 for them to put in an elevator. So no longer 3 flights of stairs. Gray's Armory Museum actively embraces its haunting reputation and allows private paranormal investigations, recognizing them as a way to engage the public and raise funds. The museum hosts its own ghost events, notably such as Halloween Investigation of 2017, where participants used EMF meters, dowsing rods, etc., and groups just like ours would be super okie dokie to book an investigation, typically coordinated through the museum's staff. Tour and events are scheduled via the Armory's website, which is www.grays, that's A-Y, armory.org. And public tours are offered the first Wednesday of each month from noon to 4 o'clock. It's only $8 per adult or $5 for students, seniors, and military personnel. So, yeah, you can go to Gray's.
All right, get on it.
Already sent an email, baby.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of those places that's been on my list. And as somebody who has been to many events in Cleveland and traversed through Cleveland many times without even knowing what it was, just wow, holy crap, I'm going to sound like you for a minute. When you drive by it, that building looks like it's got a story to tell.
Does it?
It does.
Uh-huh. I told you. Buildings have stories.
Also could be because it's like one of the only old school buildings downtown that has like one of those circular ferret things.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. It's a very, very beautiful old building. Yeah.
It's one of those ones where you drive by it the first time and you're like, I wonder what's there.
They're like, that's a little out of place. Interesting. And it still actually has iron bars on the first floor windows too. So it's still fortified despite the fact that it doesn't really need to be anymore. And its ridiculous portcullis still has an iron gate.
I like it. I like it a lot. Well, I suppose I will skip all the merry talk in between and just jump on into what I'm doing.
Let's do it.
Believe it or not, this might be the first time that I give a warning before.
Ooh. You got a spooky one?
It's not really for the faint of people.
Mm.
And as I kind of give you the history of this place, you'll kind of understand. If anybody knows anything about me, it's that I like to get on the dark rabbit holes instead of the one with lights on. So you're not going to hear anything about honor or greatness in this story. Quite the opposite. I am going to... So as I was given the compromise of information, there are a few sentences in here in French. I can read them. I can pronounce them pretty well because I took French, but it also doesn't give a translation. So I'm probably just going to skip over those. Because despite the fact that I kind of have the accent down enough to be able to get through it and read it properly, I don't know what it means.
That doesn't really help our listeners any.
So it doesn't help anybody any, unless you live in France.
Right.
That's it. So the ruins of the Chateau de Machecoul, nope, it's not Machecoul, it's Machecoul, known as Bluebeard's castle, still stand in Machecoul, France. The crumbling walls of the Chateau de Machecoul loom over the quiet town like a dark memory. Even in daylight, an eerie atmosphere clings to the ruin. A wall of the castle standing as a fragment of its haunted past. Visitors describe a shiver in the air as they wander the overgrown grounds. Many believe that the stories soaked in blood and tragedy hold secrets that only reveal themselves once you know the grim history behind them. This once mighty fortress has seen centuries of turmoils, and if legends are to be believed, is now home to restless spirits born of those dark times. The Chateau de Machecoul dates back to the 13th century. It was built in 1235 by Duke Pierre de Dreux as a medieval stronghold guarding the border of Brittany. Originally a square-moated fortress with 6 towers and a dungeon, the castle was one of the key fortresses of the Battle of Brittany, anchoring a network of defensive castles in the region. Over the ensuing centuries, Machecoul bore witness to feudal conflicts, sieges, and dynastic intrigues. The thick walls survived the 100-Year War and later wars of religion when the castle passed to the powerful Gandhi family. I don't think it's the Gandhi guy that we're thinking of.
Gandhi, yeah.
And was caught in the tumult of France's religious conflicts. By the time of the French Revolution, however, the proud fortress met a cruel fate. After the revolution, the castle was largely dismantled and turned into a farm, left to decay into the skeletal ruin we see today. But even as the stone and mortar crumbled, the dark legends of the Chateau de Machecoul only grew stronger. Locals will tell you that some places truly only reveal themselves when you know their history. And the history of the Machecoul is defined by one infamous figure whose bloody deeds still echo within these ruins. One of Machecoul's most notorious lords was Gilles de Rais, a 15th century nobleman whose heinous crimes earned him the nickname Bluebeard. In his youth, Gilles de Rais, born at the chateau in 1404, was a celebrated war hero. He was a wealthy Breton knight and comrade in arms of Joan of Arc. Yet after the glory of battle, Gilles' life took a satanic turn that would make him one of the history's most despicable figures. He withdrew from the military life in the 1430s, squandered his fortune on extravagant projects, and began dabbling in the occult arts and demon summoning rituals.
Wow.
Yeah. Hard left turn there.
He went way off.
Obsessed with alchemy and black magic, the Baron reportedly made a pact with the devil in hopes of restoring his riches. When conjuring demons failed to produce gold, Gilles turned to far darker deeds, seeking satanic favor through human sacrifice.
Jesus.
It was here at the Chateau de Machecoul, behind the castle's thick wall, that children from the surrounding villages began to disappear. Between 1432 and 1440, Gilles de Rais perpetrated a series of murders so shocking that they inspired the nightmare folktale of Bluebeard. However, unlike the wealthy noble who murders innocents behind closed doors, and unlike the fairy tale where Bluebeard imprisoned and killed his wives, Gilles preyed on children. Alluring peasant boys and girls into his castle, he subjugated them to unspeakable horrors, abduction, torture, abuse, and, of course, gruesome murder. In confession, Gilles admitted to a catalog of atrocities. Accounts speak of how he would delight in the suffering of his victims, even cutting them open and reveling in the sight of their inner organs as they died.
Jesus.
According to the chilling trial testimony, and he and his accomplices tried to dispose of the evidence by any means possible. All of his crimes took place in the castle of Machecoul, and the children's corpses were stuffed into the walls, tossed down castle chimneys, and buried in shallow graves around the estate. For years, terrified parents in the region whispered of an ogre in the castle. Indeed, Gilles de Rais became known in folklore as the Ogre of Machecoul, a monster who devoured children, fueling nightmares for generations. By 1440, rumors of the missing children and Gilles' satanic activities drew the attention of the church and the crown. On the 15th of September in 1440, Duke Jean V of Brittany's men arrested Gilles de Rais at the Chateau de Machecoul itself. In the ensuing trial, Gilles was found guilty of murder, witchcraft, and heresy and was sentenced to death. On October 26th of 1440, he was hanged and then burned in the nearby city of Nantes, his charred remains cast into the Loire River. Gilles de Rais' terrible crimes, possibly numbering the hundreds of victims, passed into legend. Many scholars believe his story was a key inspiration to Charles Perrault's later fairy tale, Bluebeard. I'm familiar with the story. I listened to a podcast called Tales, and it's literally just old school fairy tales from all over the world. So that said, I can see where it took a turn. Anyway, so the fairy tale Bluebeard transforming the real child murderer of Machecoul into a mythical wife-killing nobleman in folklore. To this day, the Chateau de Machecoul is often called the Castle of Bluebeard, forever linked with Gilles' bloody legacy. After Gilles de Rais' execution, the chateau's dark reputation only deepened. It was said that the soil of Machecoul was cursed by the blood of the innocents, according to local lore. The surrounding villages could never wash away the stain of Gilles' crimes. Fields refused to yield harvests, and an aura of misfortune hung over the land. For centuries, mothers in the Pays de Retz frightened disobedient children with the warning of Bluebeard's ghost or the ogre of Machecoul would come for them in the night. The castle itself stood as a grim reminder, a place where hundreds of skeletal remains were rumored to lie hidden, indeed long after Gilles' death. Bones and skulls were discovered in the ruins. In the subsequent years, tragedy struck Machecoul again. During the French Revolution, the town of Machecoul became a flashpoint of the bloody war of Vendée. In March of 1793, insurgent peasants stormed the area and carried out a notorious massacre of revolutionary officials and townspeople. Historical accounts describe how, at the foot of the castle's walls, the streets ran red with blood and the town burned.
Jesus.
Let's see. One record, in 2 days, the rebels killed around 40 people and imprisoned over 100 more, women and children included. The massacre of Machecoul added yet more vengeful spirits to the castle's bloody ledger. The old fortress, already crumbling, was further burned and wrecked in this upheaval. By the 19th century, only fragments of the chateau remained, silhouetted against the sky like a scorched skeleton. Yet, even in ruin, the chateau did not escape the legend. In 1847, novelist Gustave Fleury visited the region and described the nearby Chateau de Machecoul, which is another of Gilles' residences, as, as a castle, silent, abandoned, and accursed, filled with wild echoes of the past. With such an infamous past, it is no surprise the Chateau de Machecoul has become a focal point of paranormal folklore in France. Locals and visitors alike have reported uncanny experiences around the ruins. Rumors speak of specters wandering the old courtyards and phantom children's voices carried on the night breeze. The most persistent legend holds that the ghost of Gilles de Rais' victims remain trapped here, unable to rest. A French journalist mused, even in the ruins, if the ghosts of murdered children exist, they are certainly not about to leave this place. People claim that on certain dark nights you can hear faint cries or sobbing near the remnants of the dungeon as if lost children still relive their final moments. Some have even described as seeing tiny shadow figures flitting between the trees along the tops of the broken walls, vanishing if approached. The ghost of Gilles de Rais himself is also said to walk the chateau grounds. In life, Gilles was tormented by nightmares and guilt towards the end. Chronicles say he was constantly pursued by the images of his crimes, as if already haunted by his victims before he died. In death, legend claims that his restless soul cannot leave the ruins of Machecoul. Several visitors have reported an overwhelming sense of dread or an evil presence in the air, especially near the remnants of the castle chapel. Innocence, which... all right, I missed that part. That's fine.
Delusion place. I hate that.
According to one tale, a ghostly dark silhouette, presumed to be Gil's spirit, has been spotted standing near the top of the crumbled tower at night, only to dissolve into moonlight. Others speak of unexplained noises echoing from the underground, the clank of chains, whispers, and even sudden screams that send rabbits scurrying into the underbrush. Locals tend to avoid the ruins after dark. Those who live in Machecoul sometimes whisper of strange lights floating among the ruins at night, as if spectral lanterns were moving through the air in the castle's remains. Some attribute these orbs to the damned souls of Gilles de Rais, eternally searching for redemption, or to the playful, sorrowful spirits of the children seeking a way out of the darkness. The atmosphere around the site is often described as heavy and menacing, an oppressive feeling that descends from the twilight. Cold spots have been felt on warm summer days, and a few ghost enthusiasts claim to have recorded faint EVPs near the dungeon foundation, picking up what they interpret as children's voices pleading in Old French. While such evidence is anecdotal, it reinforces the chateau's reputation as one of France's most haunted ruins. Interestingly, the castle's haunted legend has entwined with Bluebeard's fairy tale in some versions of legend told around campfire. Murdered wives being confused with the children. People say that Bluebeard's ghost drives a ghostly carriage of headless horses around Machecoul on the anniversary of his execution. Again, just weird local folklore.
Yeah.
Though professional ghost hunting investigations at the chateau have been scarce, perhaps due to the unstable ruins, eyewitness accounts from casual visitors and locals keep the haunting reputation alive. A few stand out. One local farmer recounted that while he was walking his dog near the castle ruins one evening, he heard what sounded like children laughing inside an empty courtyard castle. As dusk fell, the laughter turned to cries, and the unnerved farmer hurried home, convinced he had heard the ghostly echoes of Bluebeard's victims.
Oh, dude.
In another story among townsfolk, a group of teenagers dared each other to spend a night amid the ruins. They settled near an old wall, once part of the keep, and tried to brave the night. Around midnight, the young boys claimed they saw a pale figure of a woman in a tattered 15th century dress glide across the courtyard as if searching for something. The apparition's face was bluish and indistinct, but one boy swore the specter turned toward them and let out a spine-chilling moan before every boy fled in terror. Perhaps the most common sighting is not a full-body apparition. Tour guides and visitors on the daytime tour, the site can be visited by appointment in the summer, often report a sudden and inexplicable cold breeze or the feeling of being watched when they pass by the ancient dungeon foundations. Cameras have malfunctioned on specific spots, and photographs occasionally show odd mists or orbs that believers eagerly claim are paranormal. One photo taken by an amateur historian purportedly showed a faint outline of a child's face in a towered window, though skeptics dismiss it as seeing patterns and randomness.
That's called pareidolia. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Pareidolia, or matrixing, if you want to just get simple about it. But all in all, that is the story of the Chateau de Machecoul.
That's pretty fucked up, actually.
Like I said, kind of one of the grittier ones.
Who fought beside Joan of Arc. I mean, for like the freedom of France, like this guy should be like awesome and noble, and he's, and
then straight to Satan.
Just not. That's really messed up.
This is going to be a weird question for you. A war hero in France fought beside Joan of Arc. Could that be some kind of weird, like, untreated PTSD before PTSD was a thing?
I would assume that maybe not PTSD, but something...
I mean, the straight to Satan part's kind of a weird turn. That's a hard hook.
That is a very, very hard hook, yeah. And yeah, it probably has something to do with things that he saw, military service, I would assume. I mean, especially if, like, he wasn't like that prior.
So I feel, I don't know really how to get into that without it just getting weird, but I mean, I feel like, so nowadays we are aware of what PTSD is, but like, I feel like with guns, there could be a certain level of detachment because you're not like back then you're fighting with swords and.
I mean, yeah, back then murder was very, very personal.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's more personal when you're stabbing somebody.
Very, very personal. I don't know. That's just messed up. That's messed up.
But again, not a great story. That's not one kid should hear. Like,
no, we don't really want to talk about war heroes turning into fucking Satan. That's messed up. That's messed up. That's a haunted castle right there.
That is a haunted castle, or at least ruins of a haunted castle now.
Right. Goodness gracious.
So nevertheless, those are our 2 stories that still took an hour to read. So
I dig it. And don't worry, everybody. Joe is perfectly fine. Everything is okay with him. He is taking care of his dad. Roger, we love you very, very much, and we hope that you feel better super, super soon.
So nevertheless, give them our socials, and we will come at them again next week.
Indeed. So you can reach out to us, obviously, on Facebook at No Lights Paranormal. You can reach us at nolightsparanormal@gmail.com. I would absolutely love to hear from you on Twitter or X, whatever you feel like calling it, at No Lights Para. That's Para. Don't forget our YouTube channel still has some really awesome stuff up there for you guys to view. And then, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everything.
Get at us.
Just say hi. We want to hear from you. We have fun hearing everything from you. And who wants to go to Gray's with me? I mean, seriously.
Down. Either way, we love you all, from Ohio to France to further than that.
Absolutely everywhere. Thank you guys so much for making our crazy, crazy fun dream of having a podcast come true.
Have a great night. See you next week. Don't fuck with the Baba Yaga.
Mm-hmm.